If you guys are looking for any cheap and reliable coins, check out MMOPO.com. Use the code PINGU at checkout to get 8% off. Hey guys, welcome to Season 3, Episode number 5 of the Derby Crowd Live. And to start off this episode, we're currently 6th in the table after 6 games. But if we do win our next game against Aston Villa, we can technically go all the way up to 2nd in the table. Obviously, our objectives this season are to finish in the Europa League spots. But I'm going to be focusing most of my... I think the league is kind of secondary to the Champions League, of course. We're, you know, if anything, we're a year ahead of where we should have been. We should have been in the Europa League this year. Yeah, we're in the Champions League because of that final day result on the last season, of course. So, yeah, obviously we do have the game against Aston Villa. Then we've got the Carabao Cup game against Manchester City. Then we'll play Blackburn, and depending on what the scorelines are, we'll play the Inter Milan game. So that'll be a really big game at the San Siro, of course. And yeah, I might be tempted to play it in this episode just to get a bit of momentum, because when... Like, I'll struggle in this first game against Villa because it's the first game of the episode. And then I'll do a little bit better against Man City. I'll do really good against Blackburn. So I kind of want to keep that momentum going. So we'll probably do the Inter Milan game in this episode. We'll try and get it to 4 games an episode, I guess, because then we can do pretty much all the month of October in the next episode. And episode after that, you know, we'll get a good understanding of what our situation is in the Champions League. Obviously, at the minute, we're top of the league, but yeah, that can all change when we do play Inter Milan. So, in between the 2 episodes, actually, I'll just quickly show you. We did sort out a few contracts for some of our bigger players just to keep them happy. Of course, I've given a new contract to Christian Bielik, Kamil Jozwiak, Max Bird, and I think that was it. I didn't think we had too much money. But if you look at the wages now, you know, we have gone to that next level with the likes of Lehman Mount, Felipe, Handanovic, Bakayoko. But it's still like the players that do start this career mode with us are still pretty much on around the 30-40k mark. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with the finances at the minute. So let's go into the game against Aston Villa. We will be using our second team for this game, because then we can play our first team against City in the Cup. I think I'll keep Handanovic in goal again, just because I want to keep both the morale and the sharpness up. I think that's quite a big factor on performance, of course. So yeah, we'll go into the game now. Obviously, Jack Grealish was relegated with Aston Villa, but now they have been promoted back up, and he seems to be in pretty good form, obviously. It's a bit odd that, I don't know, I think Grealish, if he wants to go to that next level in terms of a quality player, he has to move club. Like, he literally, you know, Villa are going to take a few years to get to that European level, you know, maybe 5 years or something like that, but they're doing quite well this year. But nevertheless, looking at the team, they've got Grealish, Watkins and Bertrand Traore as the front 3, then John McGinn, Douglas Luiz and Oliveira, then Revan, I'm not too sure who the left back is, Matty Cash, Konza, Courtney House and Kalinic in goal. It's a really good team, and obviously the reason they did get you know, straight away promoted from the Championship is the fact that they've got essentially an 80 rated team. You know, if you actually look at our team and compare the ratings with theirs, it's actually quite a tight thing. So I'm not guaranteeing a win here. We might drop points, but as I said, I would much rather focus on the Champions League games. One thing I don't like about this year, and I don't know if it was last year as well, but the time of day of some of the games that kind of put them in this, you know, really shadowy environment. I'd much prefer either in a really bright, you know, 12 o'clock kickoff, or a late kickoff in the dark, and obviously with the floodlights. But they have scored there in the first 10 minutes, just going down that left-hand side. Of course, I didn't really do that well with Gulam, and they do pull it across to Ollie Watkins to get his second goal of the season. Yeah, let me know in the comment section down below if there is actually a way of changing the time of day, because it seems to be locked, and it's kind of frustrating, because I'd much prefer to play this game not in the environment that it's in. Ball in the middle. Don't know what. How has Ollie Watkins just done that? Oh, this game. I think I explained it in the last episode. The difficulty at the start of the season compared to the end of the season is different. I don't know what EA do with the mechanics, but this kind of goal just would not happen. Like, look at that from Grealish. Has that gone through Fosu Mensah? Has he kicked? Surely that's a foul. His leg... physics are a little bit better, but that touch there, that is a ridiculous touch from Ollie Watkins to control it, and completely wrong foot Matty Clark, and yeah, Villa have made it 2-0 in the first 15 minutes, and as I said, I'm not 100% bothered about the Premier League, because I'd much rather put my efforts into the Premier League, the Champions League, and yeah, I kind of want to get a bit of a cut run going, because then it'll keep this opportunity to use the second team a little bit more. Chance it for Sibley. Can he get through and goal and hopefully get it to a 2-1 deficit? He does take the shot now and into the back of the net. We do get the goal with Louis Sibley, trying to just cancel out the celebration, because I don't think anyone celebrates when they're losing a game. But yeah, it's good to get that goal and get a foothold in the game. Obviously, as I said as well, the difference between when you play against the computer when they've scored and not scored, it's quite a big factor and completely changes the way they play. So this should be quite an interesting game, because as I said, the ratings are quite similar, and I have made it a bit more of a challenge than it maybe should have been, because I could have probably put the likes of a Cabral or something in like that. Obviously with Michy Batshuayi's loan, I do need to keep playing him if we're going to keep him. Chance here for Harrison if we can slip him in with Bogle. Hopefully he's onside and can get the shot off now. With the left foot, of course, he is left-footed, and that's what I do like about what I've done with the wingers. Obviously, what I was doing with both Damari Gray and Joswiak, obviously Joswiak can coincide, but that's why I put Gray on the left, and Harrison with his left foot can go on that right-hand side. And yeah, it's just something we didn't really exploit last season. We did it a few times with Joswiak and Lawrence on occasions, but yeah, it's good that we've got a left-footer now in the team, and there's actually quite a few left footers in this particular second team compared to the first team. Bottom side here to Sibley. Can he get the shot off with his left foot, of course, and he can find the back of the net there to get us into the lead. And I do like the fact, you know, this first team, second team system that we're going to try for this season at least will give Louis Sibley, you know, much more game time, and obviously can get him a bit closer to Mount's rating. But a really nice goal there, actually. Batshuayi with the layoff, and then first touch, second touch, goal. It's similar to that one against Birmingham in real life. If you are a Derby fan, you might remember. But yeah, he's well equipped on the outside of the box to score goals, and it is just such a shame in the in season 1, I think it was, that he did pick up that injury. Simply with the ball here, chance to bring it forwards and hopefully get a fourth goal in the game for us and kind of kill things off. It's a good ball out to Harrison here with the shot, and saved by Kalinic. Goes out for a corner. Great with the ball here into Danny Ings. Can he slip in Tom Lawrence? Not quite. Still has another chance here. Now cross to Damari Gray. Can we get that final goal and kill off the game in 7 minutes till the end? We do it there with Damari Gray, and that just gives us that bit of cushion and guarantees the 3 points, of course. It's good to see, you know, the second team. We did concede 2 early goals, but in terms of getting back into the game and getting the result that we need, that's what they've managed to do. And yeah, as I said, the sharpness of these players, because they've not played too much and we haven't really put them into any training, you know, the next 2 or 3 games there will be a few concerns, but all in all, I'm actually quite excited just to play with essentially 2 different teams throughout this career mode. Then we go full time against Aston Villa at Villa Park. We do win the game 4-2, and yeah, after being 2-0 down, you know, to pull it back is really good to see. Yeah, let me know as well if there is actually a way of changing the time of the day, because defensively it does make me struggle a little bit. But Louis Sibley there with a 10 rating and the man of the match performance. See, this is the frustrating thing about playing with 2 different teams, is there'll be a player that will want to play a particular game, and it'll just make things a little bit complicated. There is a 2-year loan here for Riaz. Now, at the minute, obviously, because of the system we do have, he's kind of needed because of the second team. But I don't know, later down the line, when we're out of the group stage and we're actually in January, it might be a good option to loan him out, because we've already got, you know, we've got Jason Knight, we've got Bakayoko and Bird as my midfielders. So I'm not too sure. I think I'll leave it for now, because obviously I can always look to loan him out later on. So we will decline that for the time being. Obviously he's a player that at 22 can still grow by quite a few ratings and should be useful. But yeah, we do have the game against Manchester City now in the Carabao Cup. We'll go into this game with our first team. But I did actually notice we've had somebody downgrade already, and it is Felipe to an 83. But I don't know if I do well with him, that will go back up potentially. But he's still got good stats. You know, he's probably dropped a little bit, but nothing too major. But Jack Harrison has grown by a rating to a 78. I think Van der Vaart's gone to a 76 as well. I think that's about it. There's obviously not going to be too many rating growth as we've only just started the season. So let me know in the comments if you can actually change. It seems to be locked, which is odd because I'm pretty sure it wasn't locked in the past. So I'm not too sure if you can change like the time of day and stuff like that. I don't know if that's kind of locked in because of maybe licensing and stuff like that with career mode. But yeah, it would be kind of nice to know if there is an option to do that. Here we go then at the Etihad against Manchester City. It'll be interesting to see what kind of lineup City do have, because it is the Carabao Cup, of course. We've gone for our full 11 because then obviously we can play our second team against Blackburn. But yeah, it is a fully fit and firing Manchester City team. They do have Ederson in goal, Benjamin Mendy, Ruben Diaz, who we were looking at in the summer, and you know would have been a really good signing. But obviously Felipe just gave us the option to sign Lema as well. So you look at it that way. You know, we've got 2 players into the first team, whereas we could have only got 1. Laporte, who was ridiculous in the Carabao Cup, not the Carabao, the FA Cup semi-final. Unbelievable defender in that game. Probably one of the best performances I've seen on this career mode. Then they've got João Cancelo, Rodri, Toni Kroos, Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling, Bernardo Silva. But then they've got Lucas what's his name? I'm just going to call him Lucas. You can see his name there. It's a really easy name, but I just cannot say it for some reason. And Mecha. Is that it? Maybe? Yeah, usually they have Harry Kane or Gabriel Jesus, but Gabriel Jesus is actually at Inter Milan, who we might be playing in the game after the Blackburn one. But yeah, be interested to see. Obviously he's a youngster and can grow, and he's probably around, you know, 78, 79 rated, so he's not exactly terrible. It's just that it's not just not Harry Kane, so it's a slightly weakened City team, but it's still pretty much 95% them. More like to Lema. Can he get a decent whip into the box? It's onto Cabral's head and hits the post. Could have been a really good start, and that's something I can definitely look at this season. One thing I have been doing with Cabral is, I think his development plan is target man, so it means that his heading accuracy is definitely increased by quite a bit, and we can whip balls into the box and he can hit the target and almost does get the first goal there. Chukwueze with the ball here, inside to Mason Mount. Can I find it back to the Nigerian with the shot now, but whiskers wide of the post. And you know, by the end of the season, I expect him to be scoring those opportunities. But obviously, since he's only 23, and I think I think his sharpness is at full now. But you know, it's just about finding the best way to shoot with some of these players, especially the likes of Mount and Chukwueze. On to Mount here. Gets it back into Cabral. Can he go around the defender? He does indeed, and does find the back of the net with an absolute wonderful strike. And yeah, he's definitely been the best player in this career mode in the 3 seasons so far. Like, it's just ridiculous how good he is at finishing. Obviously Liam Delap was really good in that first season in the Championship, but then we took that jump into the Premier League, and ever since then Cabral's just been that focal point. And yeah, it would be nice, as I said, to get through in this Carabao Cup, just to give us the second team an opportunity to play some more games, of course, because once we get through the Champions League group stage, the second team is kind of irrelevant, because you know the games will be spread out enough. It's not about actually tackling them, it's about just slowly getting toward, like, jockeying and stopping them from being able to shoot, because if they do shoot, it will go into the back of the net. And what I've done there is lunged and given them a penalty with about, I think I remember in the FA Cup game, the added time against Manchester City went on for ages. And again, you know, we're 3 minutes into 1 minute added time. Kevin De Bruyne steps up and Handanovic gets the hand there. And we do save the penalty. We'll just clear it up and hopefully that'll be half time. So we got quite lucky there. But on the flip side, should the ref have blown it a lot earlier? Probably. But yeah, it's been a pretty end-to-end game, to be honest, against Manchester City so far. But I can really tell the difference in the team, especially the defence. Like these two in particular, just, you know, the defensive awareness is such a big factor this year, and both of them having essentially like 85. Well, technically it's like 88 with the boost that they have because of their fitness and morale. But as you can see, even like Felipe and Chukwueze and a few others, like trying to get them towards that 85 sharpness mark is what we're looking for. Chance here for Bakayoko. Can he use his pace? I don't think he's got the best shot in the world, but I'll take the shot anyway because it's been rebounded. But a double save from Edison, and I don't know how we've not scored there. Edison is a little bit broken, like in a good way, of course. But Kane into Rodri, gonna get it back to Harry Kane. Bielik's there, just about to stop him, and we do shield that out. But these games have been super tight against Manchester City. It was like it was in the FA Cup semi-final. City on the attack here now. Slips it through for Harry Kane. He's wrong side of Bielik. Can he keep a get there? He does indeed, and that's a great save from Handanovic, and that's why we got him for those situations. City on the edge here. Many people. Got to be careful not to concede at this point with 2 minutes of added time remaining. It's now or never if we're going to get through in this game. De Bruyne tries the back heel, but Bielik reads it twice. Still with Cancelo somehow. Bird gets the ball, but Rodri wins it back. You can just tell, like when the game wants to score, you can just tell. Bakayoko gets the interception in. Cross to Kevin De Bruyne. This ref will not blow the whistle no matter what. Has he blown it? He's blown it, wow. A very narrow game. That's all I can say about that. There's a very... You know, Handanovic has made a couple of very good saves, but there wasn't much in it, really. You know, we got the goal with Cabral, and we're through to the next round, and that's all I really wanted. But other than that, there wasn't much to report in this game. Oh, this game. He just want me not to advance in the Carabao Cup. We start with Manchester City. In the next round, we do have Liverpool at home. They just don't like me. And I don't know, because we'll play our first team against Man United, second team against Victoria, first team against Spurs. So I don't know if we'll have the stamina for that cup game against Liverpool, so it might be a bit of a weaker team anyway. But yeah, we do have the game against Blackburn next, so we'll be going back to the second team, and then we'll be playing the first team against Inter Milan. So let's go into that game now. Blackburn, a newly promoted team, of course, and yeah, I don't see them as much of a worry, really. We will put Danny Ings in from the start, actually, just because I think he's just much better than Batshuayi. I just prefer him much more, and I think he just has a little bit more to him. Obviously, one of the best strikers in the Premier League at the minute, Danny Ings. Unfortunately, is injured, I think, as we record this video. But yeah, there's still a couple of, you know, these fitness issues, and with Nacho Fernandez, which I kind of need to address. It's just trying to get him into the team, of course, which is the issue of getting that fitness up. Here with them for the game against Blackburn Rovers. I don't quite remember playing against them in the Championship, to be honest, but they do play the 4-3-3 with Eastham in goal, Bell, Lenahan and Grayson, then Iambe, then Travis and Garitano, Bradley Dack, Harry Chapman, Butterworth and Kashketh. It's a very Championship team. You know, I don't think there's a single player over 75, maybe 76 rated, so should be an easy game for today's, and we should get the 3 points quite easily. Chance here for Blackburn. They literally just put a graphic up saying that Blackburn have only scored 1 goal in 6 games this season, but as soon as they come against us, there you go, there's the goal. It's not great from the defence, really. I'm not too sure where Clark is, but Bradley Dack with the goal for his first in the Premier League. And yeah, we did concede early against Villa, I guess, so as long as we can stick to that script and get the 3 points, then I'll be happy. Chance here through the middle. Are they going to make it 2-0? They are indeed. One thing I do say is the teams at the bottom are way more difficult than the teams at the top for some weird reason with the game. Literally every single shot that they are putting at the minute does seem to be finding the back of the net. I'm still debating against Inter Milan, do I play Ramsdale or Handanovic? Because obviously Handanovic is on loan. It's just one of those where it's kind of up to me what I kind of do morally. Because the game will let me do it, let me play him. But it's down to whether I think that's acceptable or not, and whether it's realistic. Sibley with the ball into Danny Ings. We need to get this goal if we are going to get back into this game. An absolute power strike from Danny Ings to get the goal and to narrow the scoreline to 1 now. Should say for Blackburn. Good save from Ramsdale, but goes straight to the Blackburn player, and he does. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if Ramsdale's just terrible or something. But yeah, literally every single shot that Blackburn are doing at the minute does be going into the back of the net, and we have actually sold Ramsdale. He is going to Bayern Munich in January, and that will give us, you know, a good 30 million to, you know, potentially get a good goalkeeper. It really does depend on what happens with Handanovic. Good ball out wide here to Damari Gray. Has he got the pace to get through this Blackburn defence and get the shot off now? Saved by the keeper, but straight to Danny Ings, the poacher, and I think at this point I kind of need to put the pressure on Blackburn by maybe putting on some much better players, you know, the likes of Mount and Josuak. Blackburn on the attack here. Gallagher off the bench. Back to Travis. Out to Chapman. Be nice if my goalkeeper does save something, and he has. Oh, but we'll give. Save something, but then we give away a penalty for a late challenge, and that's just brilliant, isn't it? I usually take them literally immediately, which is kind of frustrating. It's gone down the middle and we have saved it. We seem to be quite good at saving penalties at the minute. A couple are saved in this episode, so still got the opportunity to potentially get the 3 points if we get, you know, if we get our act together in the last 20 minutes here. Let's see for Bogle to bring it forwards. Inside now to Jason Knight. Can he slip in? Damari Gray can indeed. Took a little bit long with that shot, but it's gone to Danny Ings. He's offside. Would have been his hat-trick. Yeah, we've still got 15 minutes to save this game. Knight into Ings. Can he turn the man? Yes, he can. Can he get the finish, though? He can indeed, and we have made it 3-3 there. I think it's his hat-trick. It is his hat-trick, and yeah, Danny Ings is actually really, really good. It says he's 80 rated, but I call him as good as Cabral, really, in terms of quality. Obviously, different type of player, but still finding the back of the net with very, very easily. I've actually brought on Lema just to try and get the win at the end here. He's gone into Lawrence. He's in the box. Really nice from Lema. Oh, this game's fun. You know, 2-0 down in the last couple of Premier League games, and we've managed to bring it back and get into the lead with 5 minutes to go and nick all the 3 points. But yeah, that ball from Lema, nice back heel, and yeah, Tom Lawrence does find the back of the net, the number 10, and gets his first goal of this campaign, and hopefully we can hold on for the last 5 minutes. And there we go, full time against Blackburn. We do get the 3 points after being 2-0 down again. Danny Ings with the hat-trick to make the difference, and Tom Lawrence with that deciding goal to get all 3 points. Really good to see. And it's making it fun and competitive, I guess, by using this second team. You know, if we used our first team, we would have very easily won that game. So let's go into the final game of this episode. It is against Inter Milan. Now, I'm just debating whether to actually play Handanovic or not. That's the question. Obviously, Lema we also signed from Inter Milan. Obviously, he's a permanent signing, so there's no issue there. But it's whether we go for Handanovic or we go for Ramsdale in goal, just to be realistically correct. I don't know. I think really, if this was a loan, there's no way that he plays this game. So I will put Ramsdale in goal just to be accurate. Unfortunately, Danny Ings isn't going to be able to play in this game because of that unbelievable performance in the last game. But we have a bit of growth to Jayden Bogle and Sibley, both going to 78s, which is nice to see. We will probably get a few players off the bench if possible, and Jason Knight going to an 80. That's also nice to see. And that defending still needs to get improved, but I guess now that he is in the central defensive midfield role, he will increase. Here we are then at the San Siro against Inter Milan. It's probably the toughest game of this career mode. You know, it's a massive game, and that's what we do this career mode for these big games in the Champions League. And let's have a look and see at that Inter Milan team. Obviously, we've got Lema come against his former club because we did sign him from there. They are playing. It is actually an unbelievable team when you look at it. They got Lopez in goal, Diego Carlos Umtiti, and Jenny. Three of the best centre backs on the game. Sensi on the left is a bit weak, but then they've got Ericsson, Awar, and Nico Barella. Then Hakimi, Gabriel Jesus, and Lautaro Martinez up front. Both those strikers are over 88 rated. Awar will be about 87, 88. Bit odd that I'd personally swap Ericsson and Awar, but yeah, it's still a very good team, and playing against this 3-5-2 might be an issue because we just don't do that in the Premier League. Nobody plays this formation, so tactically we could do either really well or really poorly. Tackle it from Bird early on. It's actually ridiculous how good Bird is now. He's 83 rated with that +5 morale boost. Chance here for Lema to get a ball into the box. Jenny does clear it. Out into Joswiak. Can we get it across the face of goal to Chukwueze with the volley into the back of the net? We do find the breakthrough against Inter Milan. It is Chukwueze, who hasn't been wonderfully good since we signed him. He's been decent, but obviously he's only 80 rated at the minute, but still a lot of potential. But a really nice run from him there at the back post. Kamil Joswiak does find him with the volley on his weaker foot, which is only, I think it's a 2, maybe a 3. What's his weak foot at the minute? Obviously we've got him in the development plan to increase it. It is a 3-star weak foot now, but still a 3-star weak foot volley there. Really, really good to find the back of the net and to get his first Champions League goal. Ball down the wing here to Joswiak. Obviously, with them playing 3 at the back, we can kind of split the 3 centre-backs quite easily. He has been tripped in the box by Umtiti, and we do have a penalty here to potentially score and get us into a really comfortable position. We don't actually get that many penalties. But as I said, splitting the 3 centre-backs, Umtiti's come across there and has been fouled. I think we will... I don't know if we have a proper... We don't really have a penalty taker. I guess we'll give it Mount since he's got slightly better penalties, but it's, against the computer it's super difficult to try and score. We have done him with the eyes there, and we do make it 2-0 with Mason Mount to get the goal and to get that cushion away at the San Siro. Really good to see. Don't know what this celebration is about, but I just press some random buttons and they usually do it. But yeah, good to see get a second penalty goal there. Obviously Joswiak with the good run down the wing, and if we do, I don't know. I think I still need to focus on the Champions League, but I think I'll definitely play a second team against Victoria Plazan because they just seem very beatable. But then on the flip side, the teams that are worse are actually more difficult. Chance here on the edge, cross to Ericsson, slips it through Bielik's legs, and they do make it 2-1 there with Lautaro Martinez. Obviously, we only just scored that second goal, and they have gone on the attack straight away and got the goal to make it 2-1. And now you'll see the real Inter Milan, now that they have scored. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of odd that Bielik did get nutmeg there with the pass, and Lautaro Martinez is, one of the best strikers on the game and does make it 2-1. Last attack of the half here. I don't know if it is just the big teams that get this extra added time. If this was me on the attack, the game blows the whistle, but Felipe's been caught sleeping, and they do, it's just so frustrated. The game decides when it blows, but if I was on the attack there, the game blows, but because it's Inter Milan, I don't know what that touch is from Felipe. I don't know if his match sharpness is at full yet, and that's why Yeah, you see he's only got 59. It's trying to get the combination of match fitness and match sharpness, and yeah, that's where we're kind of struggling at the minute. As you can see, compared to the rest of the team, he's the only one with really low sharpness, so that's why that goal has happened and let Inter Milan back into this game to start the second half. Eriksson with the ball into Martinez. Felipe does get the tackling, but it's not enough, but a save from Ramsdale. We do manage to clear it just about. It's a good ball out here to Kamil Jozwiak if we can get Cabral in the middle. It's not quite there though. Can he get the shot off? He can, but blocked. Cross here to Cabral. Now with the shot, but saved by the goalkeeper and out for a corner. I will look to make some changes just to freshen things up a little bit. Would kind of like Danny Ings in this game, but unfortunately his fitness isn't there. But we have just brought on Jason Knight and Louis Sibley. If the two academy players can save the day, then that'll be great. Chance here for Cabral. Can he turn the defender? Is a free kick. It's kind of annoying that I've literally just taken off Mason Mount, but I don't think, again, we don't really, since, you know, letting Rooney go, we don't really have a set piece taker, so I'm going to just lay it off for Sibley. Goes out for a corner. Chance here for Jozwiak. Have we got one more attack left in us to potentially score a goal? It's gone on to Jack Harrison, off the keeper and into the back of the net with 7 minutes to go. Good to see the substitute and the same combination of the first goal. Obviously Chukwueze was on the end of the first goal, but this time it is Jack Harrison, and he's actually been really good. Like, for saying he's only 78 rated now, he's actually quite decent, and I might be debating whether starting Harrison in the first team and putting Chukwueze in the second team. And I guess that's what having these two teams can create that competition of places, which is good to see. But if we can hold on with, you know, this is the hardest game of the group away at Inter Milan. So if we somehow manage to get the 3 points, that'll be absolutely wonderful. Just got to boot the ball down the wing, and hopefully that's full time. Thank you very much, Inter Milan. I'll have those 3 points, and that just puts us in the absolute driving seat when it comes to this Champions League group. I think we did really well in this game, and obviously by what we're doing, by resting the team in the Premier League, it just means we have such a strong and fully fit team for the Champions League. And Kamil Jozwiak with a couple of assists. You know, the 3-5-2 that Inter Milan were playing, we kind of exploited the wings by putting those balls across and obviously having that free man. So we do have a few players on international duty now, which again, you know, if we get injuries, I'll be just so frustrated. But Mason Mount, Max Bird actually called up to England. That's super nice to see, as he should be, at 83 rated and in absolute form of his life. Batshuayi to Belgium, Lema to Austria, Jozwiak and Bielik to Poland, Knight to Ireland, Tom Lawrence to Wales, and the two Bulgarian boys. We still have a couple of players in the academy, but as I said, I'm not going to use them at 62 rated. They're just not going to help us in the Champions League. So yeah, it's actually been a really productive episode. We do have a couple of loan offers here for Riaz. As I said, for the time being, I think I'll just reject all these because he's actually quite good. You know, it says he's 75 rated, but I'd definitely put him a little bit higher than that. Yeah, we do have a game in hand now, and the next game is against Wolves. And if we do win the game, we could potentially go all the way up to second in the table. So yeah, Wolves are down in 15th, so they are a very good team, of course. But if we can get the points, I think we should be able to play our first team in the next episode as well. Now that we've done these few games here, that big block of a game on a weekend and game in midweek. Now that we've got Wolves, then the international break, you know, we'll go back into the first team against Man United, play our second team against Victoria Plzen, first team against Spurs, and because it's the Carabao Cup, I'll just play a second team against Liverpool if we do somehow win. Great, but if not, I'm not too fussed because it is the Carabao Cup, and yeah, obviously just means we don't have as many fixtures to play. So yeah, I think we're doing really well at the minute. I'm really liking the first team and the second team. It's not really much of an issue other than a bit of sharpness, and that will obviously come with time. You see Felipe is getting much closer to that 85 sharpness that you do need to be fully fit and firing. Obviously we still need to potentially look at getting Nacho Fernandez and Gulam a bit more fitness in the second team, same with Riaz, but that'll eventually get there. And yeah, I'm really enjoying the squad that we do have together at the minute. I think Jack Harrison's actually a really good sign, and I'd call him like an 81, maybe 82. I'd say he's better than Damari Gray in terms of actually playing him in game. I really like the feel of Jack Harrison. As you can see, because he's old, Handanovic has gone down to an 83, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm kind of hoping, same with Felipe, that those stats can go up if we play them enough and they, get into a bit of form. I can actually see, if I go onto the development plans, you can kind of see when they're going to get downgraded or upgraded. And yeah, it seems it's just going to be a downward slide, which is a bit of a shame, because I would have liked a little bit more time with these older players, but we do actually have a bit of growth here nearly to Nacho Fernandez, so it might be worth getting him to a getting him into some games and obviously getting that a little bit quicker. But I just want to check Felipe. Yeah, Felipe again is going to get downgraded in another few weeks, which is, it's a big shame because he's actually quite good. But I think for the time being, at least until January, you can obviously reassess the situation then with these older players. But it's just about getting the results like we have done so far in the Champions League to advance into the knockout stages. So at the minute, we're pretty much in the driving seat with 6 points from our 2 games. If we get the 3 points against Victoria Plazan, that's pretty much us through to the next round, and then the final 3 games will just basically decide whether we finish first or second. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this episode. Make sure you do leave a like, rate, and if you did enjoy, and see you soon. Bye.